Welcome back. Now I'm Nate from Lovells Adelaide. Now today we're going to walk you through this 300 series. Now this one here, this has got everything you really need for the touring package. So up the front, we've got that nice ARB bull bar. So this gives you a lot of frontal protection, and it's got the nice hoops in front. Now it's also coupled with a set of the steady spotlights. We do have the blackout plates on it at the moment. The customer's about to pick this up. So we've also coupled this one down the front with the carbon winch. So flip up number plate bracket down there with the carbon winch underneath. Now it's a very nice winch, it's quite fast, and it just helps you out any recovery situation you require. Now, one of the biggest features with these AR bull bars onto a 300 series is the additional airflow in through the front into those intercoolers. So you want to keep them cool and just help drop the temperatures. Now this customer here has also opted, now he is towing, so he has opted for the Just Autos intercooler upgrade. So it is underneath all this cowling panel, but there is a big intercooler in there, and it drops the intake temperature by up to 60%. So really well and well worth it if you are doing a lot of towing. Now we are starting to see quite a few issues with dusting. So like the 200 series, this 300 series, the airboxes, they just are not adequate into this vehicle. So there's quite a few dusting issues in there. So once again, FFM. Now it's Australian made product. It's a fantastic airbox. It actually uses the factory OEM style air filter. So that there's a direct bolt in and replaces it, and it eliminates that dusting issue full stop. So these vehicles, they're a really good investment. So you want to protect them as much as you can. So that airbox, direct bolt in, uses the factory style air filter, and straight in there, and it stops or eliminates all that dusting issue full stop. Now this customer has opted for a GME UHF in the front of it. So he's gone with the touring pack, so it gives it a slightly taller aerial, and it's also the XRS 330 Connect. So once again, inside the vehicle, all the controls are on the handpiece. Down the front, on these 300 series with all the cameras in it, the camera actually sits on the grille behind all the winch. So ARB have a really nice camera relocation bracket, and it pulls it down to the front. So that way you can still get the full 360 view around the car, and it just doesn't have any interference of all the bull bar. The GVM wise in this vehicle, this customer's opted for the 3800. So down the front, we have got the struts and coils down the front as the complete assembly, and we also have done the Lovells upper control arms in this vehicle. So it just brings the caster back and you get factory specs within it. So really great for wheel alignments and drivability, puts it back into the factory settings. Heading down towards the back, once again, we've got the suspension in the back, the Lovells suspension, the Gas Legends, and you will also notice in this wheel arch, we do have another Just Autos bracket. Now, the factory fuel filter sits right there, and it does cop a bit of dirt and rocks and stuff flicking up from these rear wheels. So it's a fantastic bracket, just protects that fuel filter and eliminates it as any issues off-road. You may notice in the trailer plug, there is an additional reverse light. So for regulations, doing the GVM, it does push it too high and we have to put an additional reverse light in. So there's the reverse light. There is also an Anderson plug and then a 12-pin plug inside there. And there is a little camera plug here. Now we'll get to that camera plug inside the vehicle. We have also inside what's called advanced ICE. So it's camera integration system into the factory head unit. Sitting inside this 300 series, like I mentioned earlier, we've got the XRS 330 Connect. So it's a really neat unit. It's all hidden under the dash mount and all the controls are on your handpiece. So like we've done that, we just installed that with an RJ45 into the dash. So if you are not using this, you can just unplug it and store it inside your glove box or your center console, anywhere out of sight. And then when you do want to use it, it's as easy as just plugging it in and that will fire up. So there we go. So that's the UHF we have installed in this vehicle. Now I mentioned earlier about the advanced ICE camera integration. So on the factory one, you can press down or go into reverse. And there we have the cameras. Now if you hold down on the menu button, it will actually bring up, I don't have a camera plugged in, it says caravan camera not found. So that way there, when you do have your caravan on, it is going to bring up the caravan camera. You can see behind the caravan, and there is additional, so if you do have two cameras on the back of that caravan, it will bring up both of those cameras, so you can see directly behind it, as well as what's down the road as you're traveling. And that's also then, while in drive, you can then turn that on and use it as a rear vision mirror, so you can see what's behind your caravan at all times. So it's a fantastic, neat unit. It saves additional screens on the dash, blocking your vision, and keeps it very, very neat and factory looking. So up the front on this driver's side, we do have here the red arc electric brake. So this is the version 3 Tow Pro, and so we use a factory style switch blanking plate, puts it nice and neat inside that trim panel, and it means you don't have to drill into the dash. We do also have an additional switch here for your spotlights. So with the settings up the front, we do have to require a switch inside on the dash to turn them off independently. So once again, factory OE style switch. It keeps it nice and neat and looks factory. So most manufacturers have now released their full product range for these 300 series. So if you do have any inquiries about any products on the 300 series, give us a call or drop in. We're more than happy to chat to you about the products for your particular 300 and what's going to suit for you. Now, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm Nate from Levels Adelaide.